Hey there, cat lover. Welcome to Mystery Paws. Let me tell you something about your cat. There's one unspoken rule in every feline household. You do not wake the cat, ever. Sure, it might seem harmless. Maybe you're just trying to scoop them up for breakfast. Or you accidentally knock something over while they're snoozing on the couch. But to your cat, that moment is sacrilege. You see, while we humans sleep to rest, cats sleep to survive. Instinct doesn't retire just because your cat lives in a cushy apartment with a $60 heated blanket. Beneath those purrs and toe beans lies the soul of a wild predator, wired to be sharp, fast, and alert. And rest? That's their number one tool for staying ready. On average, cats sleep 12 to 16 hours a day, and kittens or seniors can clock in a whopping 20 hours. Is that laziness? Not at all. That's evolutionary brilliance. Every nap, every stretch, every sigh as they curl into a cinnamon roll on your windowsill, it's their way of recharging for the hunt, even if the prey is just a suspicious-looking sock under the couch. But let's talk about you for a second. Imagine this. You're in the deepest, dreamiest sleep of your life. You're floating on clouds, wrapped in warm blankets, your stress has evaporated. Then, suddenly, bam! Someone yanks off your blanket, flips on the lights, and says, "Hey, want to eat?" Would you be a little murderous? Now you know how your cat feels. When we disturb their sleep, especially during deep sleep, a crucial time when their brains process information and their bodies repair, we don't just interrupt a nap, we break their sense of safety. It's disorienting, jarring, even a little scary. Cats are crepuscular creatures. That means they're most active at dawn and dusk. And yes, that's why they become tiny chaos gremlins at 3 a.m. But during the rest of the day, they dip in and out of light and deep sleep. In light sleep, they're still alert. Their ears twitch at the sound of a pin drop. But when they surrender into deep sleep, that's when they're most vulnerable. Waking them abruptly, that's a trust fracture. They might not hiss or scratch, though some will, but over time, they may start to avoid you. They'll hide under the bed more. They'll flinch when you walk near. They'll associate your presence not with comfort, but with unpredictability. You might notice their tail flicking with irritation, ears pinned back, or them bolting away the moment you approach. That's not just quirky behavior, that's a message. I don't feel safe. So what can you do instead? If you need to wake your cat, maybe it's vet time or dinner is ready, do it like you're waking royalty. Whisper their name. Sit nearby. Let them stretch, blink, and yawn at their own pace. Let them choose to rise. Because when a cat wakes on their own terms, they feel in control. And a cat who feels safe, that's a cat who trusts you. It's easy to forget how much our feline friends feel. They're small, quiet, and seem aloof. But they remember how you treat them, especially in vulnerable moments. Respecting their rest isn't just about keeping the peace. It's about nurturing the bond you have with them. And that bond, it starts with something as simple as letting them finish their nap. Coming up next, we'll talk about something cats might hate even more than being woken up, especially if food is involved. Stick around. And if you think waking up a sleeping cat is dangerous, try messing with them during mealtime. Now that's when the gloves and the claws come off. Picture this. You're finally sitting down after a long day. You've got your favorite comfort food in front of you. First bite, heaven. Then someone taps your shoulder, talks over your music, or worse, reaches in and grabs a fry. Immediate villain origin story, right? That's exactly how your cat feels when you interrupt their meal. To us, it's just kibble. To them, it's a ritual, a sacred ceremony rooted in millennia of survival. Even though your indoor tabby isn't stalking gazelles in the living room, thankfully, their brain is still wired like a wild hunter's. In the wild, catching a meal wasn't just hard work, it was risky. And once a cat caught their prey, they had to protect it from thieves, danger, even siblings. That instinct hasn't gone anywhere. So when your cat is eating and you suddenly reach down to pet them, call their name, or heaven forbid, move the bowl, you're not just being annoying, you're triggering a deep primal sense of threat. Some cats may freeze. Others bolt away. The bold ones might even hiss as if to say, "Excuse me, can I eat in peace?" And the fallout? You might think they'll get over it. But cats are quiet collectors of stress. They start eating faster, more nervously. They guard the bowl like a tiny furry dragon hoarding gold. Or worse, they stop eating altogether, associating food with anxiety. Not exactly the vibe you want at dinner time. Got multiple cats? Oh, now we're in Game of Thrones territory. Food becomes a turf war. Without individual bowls and personal space, one cat might bully the other. The submissive one? They start sneaking around, avoiding meals or binging later in secret. All because the dinner table felt more like a battlefield than a buffet. But hey, it doesn't have to be this way. Respect your cat's mealtime the way you'd want yours respected. Let them eat undisturbed. No surprise pets, no sudden noises, no playing, let's rearrange your bowl mid-bite. If you need their attention, wait until the last bite is gone and they're licking their paws with pride. That's when the social window opens. And here's a tip from cat behaviorists. If your cat is food aggressive or anxious, try feeding them in a quiet, predictable space. Routine builds confidence. Peaceful meals build trust. Better yet, make mealtime a moment of enrichment. Use puzzle feeders, hide a few treats, let them hunt around the room. It turns instinct into a game and that game into satisfaction. Because to a cat, a good meal isn't just about calories. It's about safety, control, dignity. And when you protect that experience, your cat starts to see you not just as a food machine, but as someone who understands them. And that's where the magic begins. Stick around. Next, we're going to climb higher, literally. Up next, why your cat won't stop jumping on the dining table and what it's really trying to say. So, you've just finished setting the table. Plates, napkins, your best attempt at a romantic dinner for two. And then, thud, there they are, your cat, sitting proudly in the center of your dining table, like the tiny monarch they believe themselves to be. Eyes half closed, tail perfectly curled, as if to say, you may proceed with the offerings, peasant. You sigh. You point. Maybe you even plead, get down, Whiskers, this is not for you. But here's the thing. From your cat's point of view, that table isn't just a table. It's the summit, the lookout post, the ultimate throne from which they observe their vast and mysteriously food-scented kingdom. To us, it's furniture. To them, it's strategy. You see, cats are natural climbers. In the wild, elevation means survival. Climbing helps them avoid predators, watch for danger, and get a better view of prey. Even in your one-bedroom apartment with zero predators, unless you count the Roomba, that instinct still burns bright. So when your cat jumps onto the dining table, they're not trying to ruin your dinner party or challenge your authority. They're doing what thousands of years of evolution trained them to do. Go higher to feel safer. And when you push them off, scold them, or block the way, they don't hear bad kitty. They hear, I'm taking away your safe place. That's not just confusing. It's upsetting. It can even spark behavioral issues like persistent jumping, stress, or defiant behavior. Because the instinct, it doesn't go away. It just gets frustrated. But here's the beautiful solution. And no, it doesn't involve banning them from every surface with aluminum foil and a squirt bottle. We've all tried that. Instead, give them better options. Tall cat trees, wall-mounted shelves, window perches, even that dusty bookshelf you never use. Elevated spaces give cats a sense of control over their environment. And with the right setup, they'll start choosing their designated kingdom over the forbidden zone. Now, here's the fun part. Reward the right choice. If they jump on the cat tree instead of the table, treat, chin rub, little party. Make the high places they're allowed to climb feel like Disneyland, and the places they're not, boring, plain, not worth it. Over time, your cat will go where they feel empowered, not punished. Because remember, cats aren't out to challenge your rules. They're just following their ancient blueprint. And when you honor that blueprint, you don't just fix a behavior, you deepen the trust. Coming up next, we're still climbing. But this time, they're climbing you. Find out what it means when your cat scales your legs like Mount Everest, and what they're really trying to say with those surprise claws to the thigh. Okay, Confession time. Has your cat ever launched themselves at you like a furry missile? Claws first, aiming for your leg, your back, or worse, your head? You're standing there peacefully making coffee when suddenly, whoomp, you're now a human jungle gym. But before you label them clingy or chaotic, take a breath. Because what's really happening is something much deeper than mischief. Your cat is climbing you because in that moment you are the safest, highest, most trustworthy place they know. Let that sink in. To us, it feels like a surprise attack. To them, it's instinct meets love. Climbing is more than just fun for cats. It's survival. In the wild, a higher place means safety, control, perspective. It's where danger is seen before it strikes. It's where rest happens without fear. But in your home, maybe there aren't enough vertical spaces. No shelves, no cat tree. So when your feline feels the urge to climb, guess what? You're it. You're the shelf, the lookout tower, the safe space. It might sting, literally, but there's a quiet kind of beauty in it too, isn't there? They trust you enough to launch themselves into your world, uninvited, unfiltered, and entirely themselves. Now, of course, sharp claws on bare skin. Not ideal, but instead of pushing them off, yelling or scolding, which they won't understand, try gently redirecting that climbing instinct. Give them a tall cat tree by the window. Build them a perch near your desk. Reward them when they use it. And if they try to climb you again, place them on their tower. Give a treat, maybe a scratch under the chin. Soon, they'll learn, that's my mountain. But here's the real heart of it. When your cat climbs on you, they're not being bad. They're reaching out for closeness, for comfort, for control in a world too big and low. It's not rebellion, it's relationship. They are saying in the only way they know how, I want to be close to you, but I also need to be high enough to breathe. And when we give them the freedom to be both, the cuddler and the climber, the grounded and the elevated, that's when trust deepens. That's when they start choosing connection over chaos. So the next time your cat scales your shoulder like a tiny pirate, try to smile, even through the surprise claws. Because sometimes love looks like a leap of faith, right into your arms. Up next, what happens when your cat turns into a tiny botanist and starts eating your plants like they're at an all-you-can-chew salad bar? You won't want to miss it. You walk into your living room. Your new peace lily, the one you spent way too much on, is shredded, leaves on the floor, tiny teeth marks everywhere. And there's your cat, looking at you with wide eyes like, wasn't me. Here's the truth. If you've got plants and you've got a cat, you've basically opened a salad bar and forgot to put up a fence. Because to your cat, that monstera isn't decor. It's an experience. But this isn't about rebellion. It's about instinct. Cats chew plants for several powerful reasons, and none of them involve ruining your aesthetic. First, let's talk biology. In nature, cats consume small amounts of plant matter by eating prey, like birds and rodents. That undigested vegetation helps with fiber intake and digestion. Indoor cats, they're not out catching anything. But the urge remains. So what do? They head for the next best thing. Your ferns, your spider plant, your aloe, even your fake IKEA eucalyptus. And let's be real, sometimes they just want to play with it. The rustling of the leaves, the bounce of a stem. To a cat, that's not a plant. That's a toy with flavor. So what happens when you constantly shoo them away, scold them, or remove every green thing from your home? They don't understand. They don't know toxic from non-toxic. All they know is, there's something I need, and I'm not allowed to have it. That's when frustration sets in. Some cats get sneaky, others get destructive. But underneath it all is one quiet truth. They're missing something that matters to them. So what can we do? We meet them in the middle. Solution number 1. Offer cat-safe plants like wheatgrass, oatgrass, or catnip. Set them up in sunny spots they can reach freely. Watch their eyes light up. Solution number 2. Place toxic plants where cats can't reach. High shelves, glass domes, hanging pots. Solution number 3. Turn plant interaction into enrichment. Let them forage, nibble, paw. Give them permission, but in the right places. Because when you offer safe, enriching choices, instead of just saying no, you build trust. And more than that, you give your cat a piece of the wild world they instinctively crave. They weren't trying to hurt your peace, Lily. They were trying to understand the world, one leaf at a time. So the next time you catch your cat with a mouthful of pothos, take a breath, redirect, offer them their own greenery, and smile at this tiny botanist in your home. Because behind every shredded leaf is a curious heart just trying to feel a little more alive. Coming up next, ever felt like your cat wanted affection, then scratched you 5 seconds later? Let's talk about the fine feline art of, I love you, now stop touching me. So there you are, curled up on the couch. Your cat jumps up, circles once, then settles right next to you. A purr, a head bump. You smile. This is it, you think? We're having a moment. You reach out to pet them. A few gentle strokes, a scratch behind the ears. They lean in. Your heart melts. You keep going, maybe a little longer, then suddenly, chomp. Or worse, swat. And you're left holding your hand like, wait, I thought we were bonding? Welcome to the emotional roller coaster that is over-petting. Here's the thing, cats do love affection, but on their terms. And their tolerance? It's not infinite. It's more like a mood ring dipped in mystery and glitter. Scientifically, this is about sensory overload. Your cat's skin is filled with nerve endings. While gentle petting feels soothing at first, too much can start to feel itchy, irritating, even overwhelming. Think about someone giving you a back rub, but they never stop. Minute 1, bliss. Minute 5, still nice. Minute 12, you're wondering if they actually hate you. That's your cat. They're not betraying you. They're just trying to say, I love that, but now I need space. And believe it or not, they do give warning signs. Tail starts flicking, ears angle sideways, body goes stiff, eyes dart. That's your cue to stop. The mistake many of us make is ignoring those signs because we think, but they're purring. Ah yes, the great feline paradox. Because cats can purr when they're content, but also when they're anxious, overstimulated, or trying to self-soothe. Purring isn't always a green light. Sometimes it's a yellow. So how do we get it right? Step 1, let them initiate. If your cat comes to you, settles in, leans into your hand, you're golden. Step 2, keep sessions short and sweet. A few strokes go further than a marathon massage. Step 3, learn their zones. Many cats love head and chin scratches. Bellies, usually a trap. Back legs, approach at your own risk. Step 4, when in doubt, stop before they ask you to. And guess what? They'll come back sooner next time. Because when a cat knows you respect their boundaries, they trust you more. They choose to be near you. And in the quiet world of feline affection, that kind of choice means everything. So if your cat walks away mid-snuggle, don't take it personally. You're not being rejected. You're being reminded. Love me, but learn my rhythm. That's not cold. That's deep communication from a creature who speaks through movement, not words. And when you listen, you get less scratching and more of those magical moments where your cat chooses you again and again. Up next, what happens when we forget that cats are not tiny humans in fur coats, and why treating them like dolls might be stressing them out more than you realize. So you found this adorable little sweater online. It has ears, maybe even a tail. You gently wiggle it over your cat's head, imagining how cute they'll look for Instagram. Your cat? Frozen, stiff, eyes wide, body low, plotting your downfall. Let's be real. It's easy to forget that cats aren't tiny people in fur coats. They're not accessories. They're not dolls. They are independent, instinct-driven, incredibly sensitive beings. And when we try to humanize them too much, we chip away at the trust they've worked so hard to build with us. Sure, it comes from love. We want to include them in holidays, birthdays, and selfies. We want them to feel like part of the family, because they are. But to your cat, that sweater isn't festive, it's restrictive. It limits their movement, blocks their senses, tells their ancient wild brain, you are trapped. And it's not just about clothing. Sometimes it's the party music, or the parade of guests, or the balloon you thought was fun, but they definitely think is a sky demon. Cats thrive in calm, predictable environments, where they can observe before acting, retreat when needed, and control their surroundings. When we bring them into loud, unpredictable situations and expect them to act normal, we set them up for stress, anxiety, and confusion. And then we wonder why they hide under the bed for 3 days. Let's take it even deeper. When we treat cats like humans, we miss what makes them truly magical. We miss their quiet communication, their subtle body language, their loyalty that's earned, not assumed. Because love from a cat isn't loud. It doesn't come with tail wags or sloppy kisses. It comes in slow blinks, in silent companionship, in the way they sit next to you, not on you, but close enough to say, "I trust you, just as I am." And when we honor that, when we stop trying to change them into something more familiar, something amazing happens. They open up. They show us their true selves, curious, sensitive, full of nuance. So here's the gentle truth. Your cat doesn't need a party hat. They don't need cake or costumes. They need space, understanding, and the freedom to be a cat. Because when we stop dressing them up, both literally and emotionally, we see them clearly, not as pets, but as companions. And that shift, that's what turns cohabiting into a bond. Coming up next, let's talk about those games we play with our cats that seem funny to us, but to them, it's a whole different story. We've all done it. You sneak up behind your cat. You wiggle your fingers like claws. Maybe you tug their tail just a little. They jump, spin, puff up, and you laugh. "Oh, you're so dramatic," you say. But your cat? They're not laughing. They're scared, startled, and maybe starting to lose trust. Here's the thing. Cats don't play like we do. Their version of fun is rooted in instinct, not comedy. When they chase a feather wand or pounce on a toy mouse, they're not being silly. They're practicing survival. To a cat, play is hunting. It's strategic, focused, purposeful. And when we interrupt that with chaotic, unpredictable human-style games, it doesn't feel fun. It feels threatening. Sudden movements, loud noises, being picked up without warning. To us, a joke. To them, a red flag. Even worse, when we laugh after they bolt, when we reach again after they hiss, we send one loud message: "I'm not listening." And that cuts deep. Because cats do want to play, they do want to connect, but it has to be on terms that respect their nature, not override it. So what does healthy, joyful play look like to a cat? It looks like stalking. It looks like chasing a toy across the floor in short, intense bursts. It looks like the thrill of catching something and carrying it away like prey. They don't need gimmicks. They don't need to be startled or chased. They need the space to be who they are. Tiny, elegant predators with poetry in their paws. Now, you might ask, but if I don't tease or wrestle, how do I really bond with my cat? Simple. You become part of the hunt. Grab a wand toy, a feather, a crinkly tunnel. Let them stalk. Let them pounce. Let them win. When you do, you're not just playing. You're speaking their language. You're saying, "I see you. I know who you are. And I love you exactly as that." And in return, they'll show you sides of themselves that are usually reserved for the moonlight. Playful, powerful, present. Because a cat who feels safe during play is a cat who feels safe with you. So next time you're tempted to sneak up or spook them just for a laugh, pause. Look at those eyes. So ancient, so knowing. And remember, their heart is wired for survival, but it opens for love. Coming up next, we step out into the fresh air. Or rather, we don't. Let's talk about why your indoor cat craves the sights, smells, and sounds of the outside world, and what happens when they're shut out from it. You see your cat sitting at the window, still silent, eyes locked on something you can't see. Maybe it's a bird, a rustling leaf, the slow dance of sunlight through the trees. To you, it's a quiet moment. To them, it's everything. Because while your cat may live inside, their soul was born out there. You see, cats are deeply sensory creatures. They don't just look at the world. They absorb it. The flutter of wings, the scent of wind, the shift of shadow across pavement. It speaks to something ancient inside them. Something you and I might never fully understand. But here's what we can understand. When we shut them away from that world entirely, no window, no perch, no fresh air, we're not keeping them safe. We're keeping them numb. Indoor cats with no natural stimulation often grow bored, restless. They begin pacing, over-grooming, staring blankly. Not because they're bad, but because they're stuck. Their minds crave motion. Their hearts crave mystery. And their instincts? Still wired for the rhythm of sunrise, birdsong, drifting leaves. Now, this doesn't mean you have to turn your cat into an outdoor adventurer. Safety matters. Cars, predators, toxins. The outside world can be dangerous, but you can bring the world to them. Start with a window perch, someplace high, cozy, sun-kissed. Crack open the glass safely. Let them sniff the breeze. Hang a bird feeder outside. Watch their pupils dilate with wonder. Create a screened-in balcony or a catio where they can feel the wind on their whiskers without the risk. These simple gifts, a view, a breeze, a moment of sun, may seem small, but to your cat, they're a return to something they were born for. It's not about giving them entertainment. It's about giving them meaning. Because cats don't just want to sleep all day. They sleep to prepare, to hunt, to feel, to observe. And when you give them a window into the world, you feed more than their curiosity. You feed their spirit. So next time you see them sitting by the window, unmoving, unblinking, don't rush past. Sit beside them. Watch the world with them. Feel it. Because sometimes the deepest bond you can share is the silence between two souls, both longing to belong. Up next, it's not just nature they're missing, it's purpose. Let's talk about what really happens when your cat's life lacks stimulation, challenge, and the joy of simply being a cat. You look at your cat sprawled across the couch like a little loaf. Same spot, same posture, day after day. You chuckle. She sleeps all day, must be living the dream. But is she? Here's something we rarely talk about. Boredom can break a cat's spirit, and it often hides behind closed eyelids. Cats aren't lazy. They're brilliant, sensitive, wired for purpose. In the wild, they'd stalk, chase, climb, leap, solve problems just to survive. But when we bring them indoors, then offer nothing but food and a nap spot, we slowly take away what makes them feel alive. They pace, they overeat, they scratch furniture not out of spite, but because they have nowhere else to put their energy. And sometimes the worst sign isn't destruction, it's stillness. A cat who stops playing, stops exploring, stops reacting. That's not peace, that's resignation. But here's the good news. You hold the power to bring their world back to life. Scatter a few treats for them to hunt. Rotate toys weekly. Even old ones feel new with time apart. Add vertical space, a shelf, a window perch, a cat tree. Try puzzle feeders, crinkle tunnels, or a cardboard box with holes poked in it. Don't overthink it. To your cat, a dangling shoelace is Shakespeare. A bouncing ball cap is a Broadway show. More than anything, give them your time. 5 minutes a day of focused play, 10 minutes of quiet sitting, letting them nuzzle your hand. Let them win, let them chase, let them be. Because stimulation isn't just about entertainment. It's how your cat connects to the world, to their body, to you. And in return, you'll see a spark come back. The eyes light up, the tail swishes with purpose, the silent dignity returns. This is more than behavior, it's well-being, it's love in action. We often think loving a cat means feeding them, giving them soft blankets, a clean litter box. But true love, the kind they feel, means understanding them. It means making space for their instincts, respecting their silence, listening when they say enough, and noticing when they say, I need more. It means knowing that behind those quiet eyes is a whole world, waiting to be seen. So let's see them, not as ornaments, not as mysteries, but as companions asking in their quiet way, will you love me for who I truly am? And when you answer with patience, with play, with presence, that's when the bond becomes unbreakable. That's the real magic of living with a cat. Thanks for watching Mystery Paws. Until next time, love them well, love them wisely, and never stop learning their language.